A very good evening to one and all present here. Good evening, Dr. Durgesh Tripathi, sir. It's our pleasure that you have spared time for us and joined us in our 7-day faculty development program on emerging tools and trends in contemporary research. It's our pleasure that we have been associated with Dr. Durgesh Tripathi, sir. First, I'll start with the personal front. Sir's father has been, my guru. Sir's father has come so many times to our university. Sir's father is in sociology. So my first and foremost connection with Sir as a family friend is that I have learned a lot from Sir's dad. So that has been the first point. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to this August gathering, Dr. Durgesh Tripathi ji. I told in the very beginning that Sir represents a young generation of academicians whose name is in the forefronts of Indian academicians. He's not only leading India, but he's well-known figure as far as international scenario is concerned. Dr. Durgesh Tripathi is a SWAYAM course coordinator on MOOCs, which is the name of the course is Society and Media, which is and his principal area of work is related with open educational resources and youth and digital participation in India. He's a well-known propagator of the idea of democratization of higher education in India through open educational resources. He promotes the vision of national mission on education through ICT, NME ICT, Government of India, through his efforts. He is founding faculty at University School of Mass Communication, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. It's our pleasure that we have with us the second course coordinator of SWAYAM, course. Day before yesterday, we had Dr. Ajay Semelty, who shared his views on academic writing. So it's our pleasure that within these 7 days, we can take care of, we could get a chance to listen to two big giants who are, working with SWAYAM, the government platform. Now I request Sir to please enlighten us with his views on open educational resources, EPG Pathshala and MOOCs. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Especially, I would like to thank you to the organizing team, especially Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan ji, Professor Dharamveer Mahajan ji, who is my guru, who is my mentor. And I do believe that the participants of this faculty development program has been benefited from both of you in earlier sessions. When I have received your invitation related to the deliver my understanding, my experience, my observation, my knowledge related with the open educational resources, I feel privileged to be interact in the participate in the issue which is very contemporary, it is very informative, it's very necessary to all of you to learn, to understand about open education resources and the leading role of open education resources in India. If we talk about geopolitical situation, geoclimatic situation of our country, especially in India, we have no option other than the introduce and to acknowledge open education resources and MOOCs in our syllabus. If we look upon the main objectives of United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, or commonly known as SDG, education for all or democratization of education, education for everyone, the OER and MOOCs will be the only one choice to go with and to lead with the society or academia, we can say. As we know, India has its diversified socio-economic conditions, digital divide kind of technical glitches, then we have only one choice to acknowledge and to accommodate OER and MOOC courses in our education system so that we can be able to combat the situation erased by the COVID-19. Actually, we don't have any choice other than the OER and MOOC to connect towards the learners, to connect towards the scholars, towards the learners, or we can say the students of our stream or a course. We don't have any other option other than the OER and MOOC. And we can go through formal presentation. Before that, I would like to request to please recall the 2-3 more major important decisions announced by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Professor Nisank ji, and Honorable Finance Minister, Government of India, Nirmala Sitharaman ji. They both have announced 2-3 major important decisions of Government of India. And I would like to request, please go on and look upon the major decisions laid by and announced by the ministers and Minister of HRD and Minister of Finance. Top 100 university will allow or will launch online courses near future. The quote or the message has been announced by Honorable Finance Minister in the Parliament, whereas Minister of HRD has announced about there may be 42 postgraduate courses and approx 80 courses of undergraduate. Relaunch on SWAYAM platform for the benefit of the scholars, for benefit of the learners, for benefit of the students. And we can understand the power of open educational resources and MOOCs in India. I have traveled so many countries across the globe, from global south to global north, including Toronto, Canada, Washington, USA, London, UK, Bonn, Germany, Paris, France, Istanbul, Turkey, Seoul, South Korea, Shanghai, China, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and so many countries. And I have found that if we look upon to bridge on digital divide, if we look upon and to achieve the SDGs laid by the United Nations, we have no option other than the OER and MOOCs to introduce in our academic system, in our education system. As you know, University Grants Commission has communicated so many times a circular, a request, and government gazette as well regarding and related to OER and MOOC to introduce in our system, to include and to acknowledge MOOC and OER in our education system. I do believe that you have seen, you have received some some communication from the University Grants Commission, or you may search. You may search my information related with the OER and MOOC and circular communicated by University Grants Commission on the Google, and you may find that there may be so many understanding, so many requests related to OER and MOOC inclusion in our syllabus. And as per the University Grants Commission's guidelines and suggestions, up to 20%, you may note down up to 20% of whole credit can be credited and studied with the inclusion of the MOOC courses in our syllabus. You may understand the power of OER and MOOC in our education system for the future benefit, for the benefit of the learners. Actually, COVID-19 situation has compelled us to think about, to learn about, to connect with the learners, to connect with our students, to connect with our scholars with the use of OER platforms, OER upgradation platforms, OER certification programs, and especially we can say from SWAYAM or from MOOC. Ajas MLT, as Professor Sanjeev Mahajan sir said and stated us that earlier in the session of this FDP, Dr. Ajay MLT has discussed already about academic writing. But I would like to mention him as a special reference that the academic writing, the course conceptualized and established by Dr. Ajay Semalti is one of the best MOOC courses on the SWAYAM platform. And you can understand the MOOC and the contribution of OER for upliftment of our society or for our academic and education system, especially in India. As we have discussed and mentioned about, India has diversified kind of geopolitical and geoclimatic situation, socioeconomic conditions, where we have no option other than the OER to connect all the learners, all the scholars, all the students from all over India. The student or a learner from Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, or from the western part of our country, from Bhuj, from any part of the Rajasthan, western part of the Rajasthan, from Kashmir, from Ladakh, or from the Madurai, or any of the southern part of our country. How can we connect to the learners? How can we connect to the scholars and the students in the same time? We must think about the student from Northeast, the student from the Bhuj, student from the any remote area of our country has equal right to enrich, to enlighten, to connect with the lectures of Professor Dharamveer Mahajan sir, professors of IIT, professors from National Law University Delhi, professors from Mass Communication Department of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, professors like Dr. Sachin Bharti, professors from IIM Bangalore. It's our duty we feel it's our duty to connect and to enlighten all the learners from all over the India. We must have the best way to connect all the learners from the remote area as well as the metro area of our country. We should behave like a mentor. We should behave like a professor who gives every students equal opportunity to connect and to give their understanding towards the students to enlighten their knowledge, wisdom of knowledge. And after the basic point related with the MOOC and OER, I would like to start my formal presentation in front of you. And I must request to all of you, please think, please look upon the slides which will be presented in my presentation. And if you have any question related with the OER, related with the MOOC, I would like to welcome you all to discuss and ask any question related with my presentation. Again, I would like to request and mention my presentation will cover various aspects of OER, MOOCs, and I have included some slides related with the benefits of students to obtain, to connect the online learning system, blended kind of classroom or a flipped classroom, to understand new, very special, innovative pedagogy, to understand about MOOC and OER. And I have also included some slides related with how to contribute yourself as the teacher, as the fellow colleague. And I do believe that, and I have no doubt for the selection of best teachers in our academia, in our education system, and selection done by Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan ji, who is the mentor, leader of this FDP, and patron Professor Dharamveer Mahajan sir. Thank you. I would like to start my formal presentation, please. Yeah. I would like to request to everyone, is it okay? My presentation is okay?
Yes, sir. Visible and okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And as I have conveyed and directed by the FDP director, Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan sir, I prepared my PPT related to the open education resources with reference to EPG Pathshala and MOOCs, the next generation teaching learning platform. And I do believe that after completion of this presentation, you will be able to understand about why I have mentioned this type of a title, MOOCs, the next generation teaching learning platform. Key highlights. will include my PPT, my slides related with the introduction, historicity of open educational resources and MOOC, initiatives for OER and MOOC in India, difference between EPG Pathshala and MOOCs. I would like to request to all of you, please go through this slide with the difference between EPG Pathshala and MOOC. And I feel privileged to share, and I recall my contribution related with the EPG Pathshala and MOOCs. I would like to, I am happy to share that I am the co-principal investigator of the project EPG Pathshala of Government of India, University Grants Commission, and NET for communication and media studies, as well as for the MOOCs. I am the course coordinator, a program, a course on SWAYAM related with the society and media, which was mentioned just a couple of minutes before by my beloved friend and sir, senior Dr. Sanjeev Mahajanji. Growth of MOOC in India, future prospects of MOOC in India, life cycle of a MOOC courses, guidelines for contributing towards MOOCs, how can you be a contributor for the MOOC course, and you can understand the MOOC is the very prestigious and hot cake in this COVID-19 situation, whereas the MHRD and University Grants Commission has requested many times related with the acknowledgement and accommodation to accommodate the MOOC courses in your syllabus, so that MOOC courses is very much receiving very much appreciation and attention from the education system and professors from all over country. Next, benefits to the students, benefits for teacher, and in the last, we will discuss about proposal development for MOOCs. I do believe that there may be some professors, teachers from the university or institute of eminence of the institution, so that they may contribute as a course coordinator. And after the discussion or my presentation with proposal development for MOOC, you will be able to understand how can you prepare a proposal for MOOC courses, and how can you submit your proposal to the concerned system, or we can say towards the CEC, Consortium of Educational Communication, or University Grants Commission, or NPTEL, or any other organization like IIMB Bangalore, etc. I would like to start with this famous quote of the Alvin Toffler. Alvin Toffler, the famous quote related with the Alvin Toffler is, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Again, I would like to mention and stress on relearn. And Alvin Toffler was an American writer, futurist, and businessman known for his work discussing modern technologies, including the digital revolution and the communication revolution. He is regarded as one of the world's outstanding futurists. And you can understand the quote related with the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And you can understand the power of relearn. Here, the relearn is stressed on, if we do not accept, if we will not accommodate or include the technology or a new innovative pedagogy in our system, in our education system, you cannot be able to lead, you cannot be able to connect with the learners and the students or as scholars of your stream or of your institution as well. If we talk about the OER and MOOC, then we must go through the technology with education is the most promising development in the field of education in the 21st century. It also provides global learning environment which allows accessing the course material anywhere, anytime without geographical boundaries. As I have mentioned earlier about India has its diversified kind of geopolitical and geoclimatic situation, so that the OER and MOOC is the only way to go ahead. And if we describe with the definition about OER, open educational resources defined as sharing content and knowledge differently is a driver of innovation in education. And you can understand the OER or a definition of OER with, if you are sharing some content on the open education platform, it may be regarded as open educational resources. E-learning. In this slide, in this PPT, we will discuss about online learning technology in India. With the development of technology, India has witnessed an enhanced acceptance of online education over a period of few years. And advanced internet connectivity is the most important point so that you can understand about power of internet for promoting OER and MOOC in the India or in our country, we can say. If we talk about or look upon the outline for online learning in India, we should go through some important points. It will be the online forms of learning have started to gain prominence from 2015 onwards within the academic space, especially in terms of policies formed to promote the ideas of e-learning and channel resources in the development of its platforms in various scientific and social science fields. And we will discuss later on about to understand about the OER, EPG Pathshala and MOOC kind of understanding in the next later on in this presentation. And we please look upon this point related with the KPMG, and you know very well about that. KPMG is the best of its and topmost auditing company of world, and KPMG report 2016 has mentioned about by 2021 the overall user base for e-learning will witness a major jump from 1.6 million users in 2016 to 9.6 million users in 2021. But I do believe that the data maybe jumped to more than 9.6 million users in 2021. After that, you can understand about the power of OER and MOOC. And definition of OER, if we talk about, OER those teaching and learning materials that are available either in the public domain or under an open license. And I do believe that there may be so many participants in this FDP. You have participated and received some certificates from the teaching learning platform, OER platform like edX, FutureLearn. There are so many important platforms where we can find the courses established by the top-notch universities of the global world and institution of eminence. You may find there's so many courses conceptualized and developed by the universities like Harvard, like Oxford, like University of London, London Business School, United Nations, and I am happy to share that approx 20 certificates and 20 courses I have done on the OER platforms on edX, FutureLearn, United Nations Institute of Teaching Learning, United Nations, and there are so many platforms where you can find the courses of your choice, courses of your understanding, courses of your preference. And in this PPT, we will discuss about historicity of OER and MOOC. And we should, and we may mention about the historicity of OER and MOOC came from University of Tübingen in Germany in January 1999, which is accredited and regarded as first open educational resource of the global world, or we can say in the academic world. In 2001, the most commonly known OER initiative came from the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, USA. And I do believe that the participants can understand the power of OER and MOOC through MIT and the power and accreditation of the MIT for the education and for the educational world or academia of our global world. In 2001, MIT has announced about the launching of the OER initiative, and MIT announced and published a front page, full page advertisement in the New York Times newspaper. And you can understand the revenue for the publication of this advertisement from MIT. And by 2002, MIT released 32 courses with open licenses and set a precedent in terms of openness of university courseware. In July 2002, UNESCO convened the Forum on the Impact of Open Courseware for Higher Education in Developing Countries, where the term OER was coined. And I have mentioned that India has diversified socioeconomic conditions, geoclimatic situation, and geopolitical situation, so that OER is the only way forward for the education for all, education for everyone type of a concept. Initiatives for OER and MOOC in India. And we should know and we should admire the initiatives led by the University Grants Commission and Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India, that they have started the initiative for the National Mission of Education through ICT. Because of that, we are able to understand about OER in our country, in our education system, and we have been able to understand about the development of the MOOC courses for the learners, for the scholars as well. EPG Pathshala, I can assure you and ensure you, and I would like to request to every participants of this FDP, please go through and please search in the Google about EPG Pathshala Inflibet Net or a EPG Pathshala Government of India. It's a largest, I can assure you and ensure you, it's a largest digital depository of Government of India, of the academicians of the India that have been developed so many content and courses and video lectures for the benefit of the learners, for benefit of the scholars of our as well. EPG of the MHRD under its National Mission on Education through ICT being executed was launched in 2014 in the directions of UNESCO, as we have in the previous slides. It consists of more than 20,000 e-texts, more than 19,000 plus videos, 3,200 experts and professors contributed for the benefit of the learners and the scholars of our country. More than 30,000 plus quizzes can be found on the EPG Pathshala platform, and 70 subjects and 723 papers can be accessed and reached to go and to visit EPG Pathshala website. And I have already discussed and mentioned that I am the co-principal investigator of the multi-billion project of the Government of India, and the first project of National Mission on Education through ICT in Government of India, EPG Pathshala. And you may access, you may reach the content contributed by so many professors, like from JNU, from Guru Gobind Singh IP University, University of Delhi, University of Calcutta, Madras University, Mumbai University, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, National Law University professors. And there are so many leading professors. You may access, you may reach, you may find the content and video lectures of the same. And we have uploaded, and Government of India has been uploaded this kind of a content and video lectures, quizzes for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of everyone, and to conceptualize and to reach our objectives related with the education for everyone, education for all, and democratization of education in our country, in India. And related with the Swayam Prabha, it's a free DTH channel for education by MHRD. Government of India provides group of 32 DTH channels, and so many channels you may find for the OER and for the MOOC. And in this PPT or a slide, we'll discuss about initiatives for OER and MOOCs in India. Swayam is the platform where there are so many courses can be found, and MOOC we may call as MOOC because massive open online courses can be found on the SWAYAM platform. And the SWAYAM MOOCs is a program initiated by Government of India and designed to achieve the three cardinal principles. I would like to stress on three cardinal principles of education policy: access, equity, and quality of education, quality of material for the benefit of the learners, for benefit of the scholars of our country. The objectives of this effort is to take the best teaching, learning resources to all, including the most disadvantaged. And you can understand the power of OER and MOOC for the benefit of the education system in our country. SWAYAM seeks to bridge the digital divide for students who have remained untouched by the digital revolution and have not been able to join the mainstream of the knowledge economy. You must think of knowledge economy and bridge the digital divide. And the initiatives of MOOC, the initiatives of EPG Pathshala is the best way to bridge the digital divide in our country. And I have requested earlier that we will look upon difference between EPG Pathshala and MOOCs. MOOCs, as I have stated earlier, MOOCs, massive open online course, a vertical of SWAYAM initiative by Ministry of Human Resource Development, follows a four-quadrant approach. We should understand about the four-quadrant approach. In the MOOC courses, you may find the video lecture and the content of the video lecture, references, bibliography, and further readings, details of the course, and the quizzes and the discussion forum to understand and to sort out maximum doubts or a confusion related with the course, related with the topic, related with the understanding of the innovative pedagogy by the participants and the scholars of the enrolled participation in the course of society and media or any of the course. Assessment and discussion forum makes it easier for students to learn and understand the topics. Credit framework for online courses through SWAYAM. It's a very important point. After completion of the course, you may be able to receive credit of the course, as well as per my course, if you will look upon or discuss upon, society and media has 4 credit course. And after completion of the course, student scholar may receive 4 credit from the Government of India, Ministry of HRD. Whereas EPG Pathshala and open education resources for the course at postgraduate level, an initiative of MHRD under its National Mission on Education through ICT, executed by the University Grants Commission. E-text and videos, standard quality, interactive content based on curriculum in all streams of postgraduate level. E-content freely accessible by way of e-learning through InfliBit.net, with an objective of providing training to the subject specialists and experts in creation of e-content. Again, please look upon this slide. MOOC. What is massive? Why we call as MOOC, in which M recall mentioned as a massive. What is massive? Massive, we can understand with the power of this enrollment, where 100, 1,000, 10,000 or more than 1,000 participants can enroll in the same time in the one course in the same time. As I mentioned, I recall earlier in 2019, when my course was launched, Society and Media, where more than 1,000 participants and learners has been enrolled in my course. And now, in this time, my course has already attracted and already enrolled more than 800 participants, learners enrolled in my course, Society and Media. And you can understand the power. Open registration, local cohorts, self-paced course, open content, and especially I would like to mention free of charge. There is no charge to participate and to enroll and to understand the course, to understand the knowledge, to understand about open education learning, or a blended kind of a learning, or a flipped classroom kind of a concept, or an innovative pedagogical understanding. Anyone can join the course of the Society and Media, or a OER or a MOOC course, to understand about innovative pedagogy. And objectives of the SWAYAM or a MOOC course is anyone, anywhere, anytime learning, or learning at no cost. And earlier launched on 9th July 2017, 9 national coordinators like NPTEL, University Grants Commission, IIM Bangalore, Consortium of Educational Communication, IGNOU, NCRT, NIOS for 10+2 courses, and NITTR Chennai, where you can find the national level of course coordinators, or we can say the coordinators to organize the MOOC courses for the benefit of the society. And regulation, we must understand about the regulation. UGC Credit Transfer Framework through SWAYAM, guidelines for quality maintenance in courses in June 2017, and under Career Advancement Scheme CAS of UGC, creation of MOOCs. It's very important point to all of you, because in the FDP creates a chance to understand about so many so many new things, so many information related with the career advancement, career development. Because of that, we say faculty development program. This type of a course, this type of a 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, or a 4 week course can be understood as faculty development program, or we say it's a faculty development program where faculty can be enriched, can be benefited for their future development. And here I would like to mention, under Career Advancement Scheme CAS of UGC, creation of MOOCs can be very important, beneficial for their career advancement of the faculty members, of the participants of this FDP. Or training through MOOCs is one of the eligibility criteria for promotion. Must think about and go and understand about the power of MOOC and OER for your future development, for your future prospects. Growth of MOOC in India. If we discuss about growth of MOOC in India, the enrollment rate in e-learning platforms is about 61% in India since January 2020. But after COVID-19 situation, I do believe that the data may be jumped, because there are so many platforms has been announced for the benefit of the learners, for benefit of the scholars of our country. State and non-state agencies employed various new techniques for the promotion and delivery of e-learning modules to the learners, most of which based on OER. And I have mentioned earlier in my starting of this FDP and my presentation that COVID-19 situation has compelled us to think about the acknowledgement and accommodation of to accommodate OER or a MOOC courses in our syllabus, in our courses as well. Current annual growth rate in India for e-learning platforms accounts to 52%. It's a data related with the 2019 and 2020, but I do believe that in the academic year or a annual growth we may calculate in next cycle in 2022, 2020 to 2021, it may be jumped maximum number to get maximum enrollment from the scholars and learners. And if we look upon this slide, growth of MOOC in India, we can understand the future prospects of MOOC and OER in our country, where we can find that nearly 48% population in India between 15 to 40 years of age group with high aspirations but lower income is a good target market for online education, and the acceptability of online channel is high in the younger demographic. There are so many students will join our course in graduation or a post graduation in near future. They have received the communication course material and lectures from Byju's, from Khan Academy, or from online education, or from YouTube channels. There may be, you may find so many YouTube channels for the 10+2 students, for the 10th standard student, for the 10+2 students and aspirants of our country. And after that, after completion of the 10+2 courses, they will join our institution, our education system, our educational courses. And the aspirants came from the online education, OERs and Byju's and Khan Academy. They would like to love the courses on based on SWAYAM or a open educational platforms on a website. You must think about that, so that we have to prepare for the next generation, and OER and MOOC is the platform for next generation, for the youth of our country. Because of that, we should understand, learn and relearn about our understanding about our course for the future benefit and for the benefit of the youth, for benefit of the upcoming sessions, participants and learners and scholars and the students from the younger generation. India currently holds a total of 74.3% of the youth population as per the Indian Statistical Report 2019, which is expected to cross the youth population of China by 34% by 2020. And we are living in the 2020. We cannot mention as a 2020 is the best year or it's a good year for all, because we have faced so many challenges to connect with our learners, to connect with our students and scholars, and we have faced so many challenges due to COVID-19 situation, so that we cannot mention that 2020 is a good year or a nice year. for everyone. But I would like to mention in the 2020, we may cross 34% young population of China from our younger generation. And we look upon future prospects. MOOC in India, the Indian e-learning market size was $247 million. You can expect that the amount 247 USD, comprising 1.6 million users in 2016. It is expected to witness an 8-time growth to reach USD 1.96 billion, and the current user base will grow at 44% as per the CAGR to 9.6 million users by 2021. All the data laid by and mentioned here in my slide has been recorded from the authentic sources, and we will mention it and we will discuss later on in the last slide, where I have found this data and these data from the auditing agencies and prominent auditing agencies of global world. India's e-learning market is the second largest after the US, which is forecasted to grow by 15.64% and exceed $48 billion by 2020. You can understand the power with this slide. And I have already mentioned about there has been conceptualized and developed University Grants Commission and MHRD for the MOOCs coordinator and the national coordinator of the same. UGC, NPTEL, CC, IGNOU, NCRT, NOS, IIM Bangalore, NIT, TTR Chennai has been accredited for national coordinators of MOOC. Here I am mentioning and discussing. I will mention and I will like to discuss on UGC credit framework for online courses through SWAYAM regulations. Here you may understand and you may look and discuss and to understand about this slide about the credit framework, that after the completion of the course, the scholar can understand, can receive credit from the host institution, and the regulations has already been made and mentioned by University Grants Commission. And choice of courses, up to 20% courses in program can be on SWAYAM. Permitted courses on SWAYAM permitted for credit transfer. And after completion of the course, MOOC courses, the student can receive the credit from the host institution. And life cycle of a MOOC course, a course proposal and approval. After that, content development and repurpose of the course or a content can be done. Consent from university for credit, course announcement, content uploading, and a student. After that, the student enrollment can be started. Course delivery, student activity and interact with the student through forum and chat. Proctored examination. Now, I would like to mention and to think about the authenticity of the course or a MOOC course. After the completion of the course, student or a participants or enrolled scholars may give examination. Examination will be conducted by National Testing Agency, Government of India. And after successful completion of the course, successful completion of the examination, certification and credit transfer from the host institution will be done to every scholar, every enrolled students. Benefits to the students. If you will discuss, you will initiate to accommodate MOOC courses or OER towards the students, and to attract and to connect with your learners, students, you must initiate, persuade for the you must do a persuasion to attract the maximum number of the students, so that you must share some key benefits of the students. After that, the students would like to join the MOOC courses, where you can mention it, the point, maximum group size, more learner centered the program or a MOOC program, adds to online social network learning, informal, sometimes even leisure learning, so that the student can attract more and more this type of a point about informal, sometimes even leisure learning, and use and guidance through learners analytics due to massiveness. And MOOC data is often publicly available. No one can find out the data at the open platform. So it's a very confidential kind of a your data, and your data should be kept in the highly precise manner, so that no one can be reach and access your data. And data privacy is the one of the most debatable item or a debatable issue in contemporary time, so that we can understand about the power of the data, so that you can and we can ensure and assure you that the data of the participant will be highly protected. Content, mix of internet, OER and self-produced content. How to get registered? If you would like to choose a course for the registration and to join a course for the innovative pedagogical understanding, and to learn about blended kind of a classroom understanding or a flipped classroom concept, we should understand about the how to get registered on the program, on the any of the MOOC program like society and media or any of the course. First, you will go to the course. In the next slide, we will discuss on the same. Name, you may create username, activate your email or email activation. You must have a password, and you must create your profile for the course. After that, you may be able to register and to get registered on any of the MOOC course. Our previous slides focused on the benefits of scholars and the students, but in the present slide, we'll discuss and will mention some important points related with the benefits for teachers. If a teacher or a faculty will join the course, they will understand about blended learning kind of a concept. And for the professional development of the teachers, they can access, they can reach, and they can adopt the MOOC course. Increased knowledge within area of expertise. You may choose with the course as per your choice, per your preference, and explore and develop contemporary online learning. so that you can understand the MOOC course and the power of the MOOC course. And the flipped classroom approach can be found on the Swayam platform, and to adopt and to enroll with the MOOC course. And benefits for teachers, again, I would like to request, please think over the special reference to get benefited from the OER and MOOC. And in this slide, would like to mention about the benefits, important points related with the benefits for teachers. As a teacher, you may be course coordinator of the MOOC course. You may be content writer of the course. You may be content reviewer. You may be content presenter. You may be technical reviewer, or the early scholar or a early joint faculty member can be the teaching assistant or a mentor, or a research scholar can contribute as a teaching assistant or a mentor of the course. I would like to give an example in the later slides, and I would like to request to please go through and to understand about their various and different roles for the MOOCs and for the benefit of yourself. As a course coordinator, as a content writer, as a content reviewer, as a content presenter, as a technical reviewer, or a technical or a teaching assistant or a mentor, you can contribute as a guidelines for contributing towards MOOCs. It's an important point, and guidelines led by the University Grants Commission. The content should be copyright clear for any readings, images, and video clips used as a core and supplementary reading in case of licensed material if used. It's very important point related with the similarity, repetitive plagiarism. And I recall that in this FDP and today, the previous session has been mentioned and discussed on the plagiarism issue by the resource person. And direct references to specific materials should be avoided in video content or other course material till clearance has been obtained from the proprietor or a owner of the video, owner of the material. Ensure that content is not plagiarized and the similarity of the e-text should not exceed 15%. We can say that the more than 15% of the similarity cannot be accepted by the host institution as well as from the host institution or a national coordinator of MOOCs like University Grants Commission, like Consortium of Educational Communication, IIM Bangalore, or IGNOU, or any kind of a institution or a university cannot be permitted. So that you have to understand, you have to learn about the basic idea about the same. To understand the rules, regulation of plagiarism, similarity, other than the similarity. UGC and FluentNet has provided universities with Turnitin and Urkund software plagiarism. And I do believe that with the insights given by the previous resource person and previous session, you may be able to understand about the various softwares of plagiarism and the similarity checker. I would like to mention one freely online available software to check plagiarism or a similarity. It's a software, plagiarism-detect.com. You write, you may mention it for your benefit. If you don't have any choice to opt choice to check your plagiarism from Turnitin and Urkun. Urkun is the free software, plagiarism software that has been mentioned and circulated, widely circulated by University Grants Commission, whereas Turnitin is the private company, and you may find after the highly highly mentioned or a highly prized software, we can say. And guidelines to use images. Many images are subject to copyright too. When doing a Google images search, refine your search results based on different types of usage rights. You must know, you must understand about the Copyright Violation Act. Copyright is the foremost and primary important point related with the development of any kind of the course, title, picture, or any diagram. And for the benefit of the learners, for benefit of the scholars, you may have a choice to take some picture or a diagram from Creative Commons website, where you can find so many diagrams, so many pictures which are available freely and copyright free pictures and diagrams, and you may take from the Creative Commons the picture and diagram from the copyright free material. After that, you may include with your presentation, you may include with your content to attract and to get maximum benefit from the learners, and to engage your scholars and students for the betterment of the education system in our education world. We should know about guidelines for video presenter. The video must not be like a spoken tutorial, audio narration, voiceover of text mentioned in presentation slides, a clear description of visuals, and so many points related with the video presentation. You may see, you may go through, and you may understand about how can we present effectively in front of the camera, in front of the video presentation. There's some important points to understand related with the video presentation. And guidelines for video presenter. The expert teacher whose video is being recorded should look straight in the camera lens. The audio has to be clear and of the superior quality. Make it sure that there is no distracting background noise, no reading from teleprompter, speak, extempore, body language should not be stiff. And there are so many important points related with the video presentation. And your video must include multimedia, animation, documentary, simulation, graphics, and virtual lab appropriately to attract and to engage with your scholars. To attract the learners and to engage the learners, we must include some multimedia, animation, documentary, simulation, graphics, and virtual lab appropriately. And I would like to mention my good friend and the great scholar and student of the Professor Dharamveer Mahajan sir, my beloved friend, my colleague, Dr. Sachin Bharti, who is having great knowledge and experience in the field of video presentation, video production. And I do believe that Dr. Sachin Bharti can enlighten us basic idea about video presentation, audio inclusion, audio recording, and we can say the overall production of your video presentation. And I have already requested Dr. Sachin Bharti sir to for the contribution of their for his best understanding, knowledge and experience towards my course Society and Media. And after joining the course Society and Media, you may find it's a best quality of video production, best quality of content you may find on the Society and Media. Then we should know about how to present yourself in front of the camera and what will be the do's and don'ts for the presentation. We should understand, we should know in these slides, and I would like to request you please go through the present slide where I have already mentioned with my picture related with the don'ts and do's for the effective video presentation. Eye contact, your eye content should be in the center of the blank slide. Synchronization issue can be resolved if any. View in computer or a laptop is looking a distraction from your learners. And as a learner, as a participant, the participants will expect that your presentation will be in the same manner in the front or in the camera's eyes, so that you may be able to connect and to attract your learner with your video presentation. I have already included four more pictures to understand and to mention about do's. What will be the best choice? What will be the best way for a good presentation or effective presentation in front of the camera and for the video? We should mention as eye content. You may see the eye content described through graphics. You may include some graphics to attract learners. An energetic presentation. I would like to mention one presenter from National Law University, Delhi, and the most energetic presentation done by a professor from National Law University, Delhi. I would like to mention it. And if you will go through the presentation of the National Law University professor, we can understand about energetic presentation of the video presentation. And this slide will discuss about proposal development for MOOCs. There are some guidelines. MOOCs proposal. Prepare a proposal according to guidelines of University Grants Commission. Prepare a short introductory video. Submit the proposal on the link. I have mentioned the link with the video link to be uploaded on YouTube and the updated profile of yours. The filled form can be submitted at CC MOOCs, and I have given the email. You may prepare your proposal. You may prepare a proposal with the key benefits, key concept of the course, video links of the course, and after that you may submit it in online, or you may send it by the email of your course proposal. It's very important point related with the who can submit a proposal. According to UGC guidelines, an academician, faculty having 5 years of PG teaching experience in concerned field can be the course coordinator. But it's the guideline of 5 years of PG teaching experience cannot be fit suitable if you are going to launch the undergraduate course. It's for this type of a guidelines for the PG courses. If you are going to launch your course as a course coordinator as 5 years of PG teaching experience, then you must have 5 years of PG teaching experience. After that, you may be able to be selected as a course coordinator of MOOCs. And the faculty employed in the institutions who are eligible to receive funding from University Grants Commission, that is included under section 2F and 12B of University Grants Commission Act 1956 and eligible to receive central assistance are eligible for applying for MOOCs. It's a very important point related with the course coordinator or a principal investigator. The 5 years of a teaching experience, and your institution should have the section 2F and 12B of University Grants Commission Act 1956. Who can submit a proposal? The faculty employed in university college would be required to submit a consent letter of the host university institution for the MOOCs course. As the courses carry credits certification, they shall be cleared by the host institution, university or institute who are authorized to award degrees as per the section 22 of the UGC Act. And one course coordinator can offer only one course at a time. It's a most important previous mandatory requisite for a course coordinator. One course coordinator can offer only one course at a time. Making and hosting of MOOCs courses. I have mentioned some important points in the ray diagram related with the making and hosting of MOOCs courses. How can you produce, how can you develop the MOOC course, and how can you host a MOOC course? And necessary requirements for MOOCs, as I have mentioned, constitute a team. And I do believe that the faculty members of this FDP, our fellow colleagues, they have basic understanding about how to go with the team. How can we constitute a team for the successful completion of your course, for successful completion of any project. And before that, we should understand about the constitution of a team, or constitute a team for better understanding and for the successful of the project and completion of your project. The potential candidate for MOOCs shall constitute an academic team of educationists with proven abilities for preparation of the teaching learning material, TLM, along with the pedagogy and the activity-based interventions for improving the delivery of the content. And if you have a team, you must discuss, you can discuss on various issues, various points related with the successful project, for the successful completion of your project. We must discuss the title of your course. We must discuss about the content of the course. We must discuss about the video production. And after that, you may be able to complete your course in a successful manner. So that to constitute a team is a most important point for the development of your course and for successful of your course. Necessary requirements for the course: prepare a proposal. The course coordinator shall prepare a proposal for MOOC consisting of the following: introductory module. The course coordinator should include introductory module with your proposal. In your proposal, you should have scheduling of the course where you may mention lectures, reading materials, assignments, quizzes, tests into approx 15 to 16 weeks and 2 to 3 modules per week, as you are doing in your classroom. You are teaching with the modules, with the papers in your course. Instructional videos to be prepared with the transcript, multimedia techniques to be used, and the name of the teacher on the camera should be mentioned. Details of the reading material, and after completion of the course or a module, you should mention some reading materials for the benefit of the students. For MOOCs, self-assessment modules, the total number of quizzes and assignments to be provided for the course, an assessment system, weekly, bi-weekly assessment and assignments that it will be required to be taken by the students. You should mention with your course. And after that, reading materials, some notes, extra readings must be there for the benefit of the course. After that, self-assessment modules can be done, can be included. Quizzes and tests, an assessment system you may adopt, you may introduce for your learners as a weekly, bi-weekly assessments and assignments. You may give on the online platform, on the SWAYAM platform or course platform. Discussion forum. Discussion forum is most important point related with the course. You may mention a discussion forum. You may create a discussion forum where any of the students of your enrolled student or a participant can ask the question related with your course, related with the any confusion, related any point related with the course, or any kind of a understanding, any kind of a basic idea about your course. Quadrants, as I have mentioned earlier, there may be 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, e-tutorial. Quadrant 2, e-content. Quadrant 3, web resources. And quadrant 4 is self-assessment. You must prepare, you must include all the quadrants for the benefits of the students. An action plan. After that, you may examine existing content with respect to 4 quadrants, coverage of all topic, and so many things related with the same. And after that, you may mention week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 courses of your course, and you may understand about the same. After that, format for MOOCs proposal, title of the course, how to select the title, must discuss with your team members, with your peer, with your colleagues about the title of the course, brainstorming ideas, read background information, focus on your topic, make a list of useful keywords, be flexible. I would like to mention one my experience related with my course. I would like to request and mention you that my course has been submitted for the University Grants Commission for the selection of this Society and Media course. The name was Youth, Media and Society. And I recall that Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan sir introduced me in front of the participants and the fellow colleagues of this FDP that my core area is research and digital youth participation and the open education resources. That's why I have developed a course and title that the name was Youth, Media and Society. But after brainstorming session and selection criteria and the consist of so many directors like AICTE, NAC, CC and other directors, and they have brainstormed, they have discussed on various issues in the University Grants Commission. And after that, they have requested me, please modify your title as Society and Media for broader reach, for broader access and broader acceptance, and interdisciplinary course can attract maximum number of the students and the scholars from across the media, across the sociology. After that, I have discussed with my team members, my peer group, and after that, I have finalized the title of my course, Society and Media. For that, it was Youth, Media and Society. So that you should understand about the title of the course and the course title of and the power of the title to attract maximum number of the participants and the scholars. Details of the course discipline, subject, course name, nature of the course, selective course, format for MOOCs proposal, introduction, aim of the course, objective of the course, and I can mention that it's not a rocket science. It's very basic idea about the research proposal, and Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan sir, Professor Dharamveer Mahajan sir know very well about the how to prepare a research proposal, and it's a basic idea about the research proposal, whereas we should accommodate, we should mention, we should include some video lectures or some online resources kind of things related with the MOOC. After that, you may be able to understand about how to submit a research proposal or a MOOC proposal on the website of Consortium of Educational Communication, CC, IGNOU or UGC. It's a basic idea about research proposal, where you can find introduction, name of the course and so many things. An expectation from the course coordinator, as I have already mentioned about the same, that we can discuss and we should prepare and you should prepare a 1 week course content and you may submit with your course proposal. Structure of the MOOC course. Course introductory video, week introductory video, week content, week sum up videos, quizzes. And after that, I would like to mention, please look upon this slide, present slide, where I have already mentioned about my course, Society and Media, where you can see the logo of University Grants Commission, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, SWAYAM, and the institution, post institution of Guru Gobind Singh University, New Delhi, and the Consortium of Educational logo of Consortium of Educational Communication. And the PG course, Society and Media, it's a PG level interdisciplinary course. It's a PG level interdisciplinary course. It has 4 credits, 40 hours course, 15 weeks course, and after completion of this course, you may be able to receive the certificates from Government of India, Ministry of Human Resource Development, and UGC. And I'd like to showcase my front page or a page of the course. It's a very simple. You may cut paste of this link, or you may search it on the Google, Society and Media, Swayam, SWAYAM 2020. If you will not mention 2020, it may be Google will show you the course platform or a course page of 2019, 2019. As I stated earlier that the course was earlier launched by University Grants Commission in 2019, and after the successful completion and launching of the course Society and Media, in this year 2020, Society and Media course has been relaunched by Ministry of Human Resource Development, and you can join with the mention of this course as the Society and Media Swayam 2020. And you may see the course page of the same, where you can see learners enrolled 834. Whereas I would like to mention to you that it's a PG course, but anyone can join undergraduate course, undergraduate students, research scholars, faculty members, any teacher can access, can reach, and can join the course Society and Media and they will receive, after successful completion of this course, they will receive a certificate from University Grants Commission, from Government of India. And anyone can join. There is no limitation, there is no minimum requirement to join. To understand blended learning, flipped classroom, and innovative pedagogical concept, to understand about the same, please join Society and Media course, and you can understand after completion of this course about various kinds of basic understanding related with the flipped and blended classroom kind of a concept. And it may be benefited for your future prospects as well. Here you can see the course outline, details. Here level, elective, 15 weeks, June, and the last date of enrollment is 15th of August. Before that, you may join the course, and after that, and you can access the course till from today onwards. And here I have already mentioned an early teacher or a research scholar can contribute as a teaching assistant for the MOOC course. Here is the summary of the course layout, 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Here is the references. Here is the instructor biodata or a course coordinator biodata. And you may see the emblem of Ministry of Human Resource Development, SWAYAM. And I would like to mention that after that, you may be able to understand about the importance of the course. And one thing I would like to mention, there is no course fee. It's free. It's free. It's free. Anyone can join, from anywhere can join, and its course is totally free. There is no course fee. Now, I don't think that after this understanding of this course fee, importance of the course, the understanding of the same, you must understand about the importance. And after that, I will conclude my formal presentation. That I would like to mention some references. Here I have found the data important documents which is mentioned in my presentation and PPT. And I would to request, please go through this present slide, because I have received so many questions and queries in earlier FDPs and my presentation. I have presented my basic ideas and understanding related with the OER and MOOCs on more than 25 FDPs from March 20 onwards after the lockdown. And I have received so many questions from our fellow colleagues, from the participants of the faculty development program and the webinars, national and international. For that, I would like to mention this quote: the technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. I would like to stress again and again, technology, my fellow colleagues, technology will not replace great teachers. If you are having a great potential, if you are having a great knowledge, then a technology cannot replace you. But in the hands of a great teacher, technology in the hands of a great teachers can be transformational. And I would like to request, please accommodate EPG Pathshala and MOOC courses in your course to understand about the power of technology. And this quote by George Couros and George C., known as innovative teaching, learning, and leadership consultant, speaker and author of the Innovative Mindsets and Innovative Inside the Box. And you can understand the power of the technology and how can we benefit it to use, and how can we lead the education system with the use of technology can be understand with this PPT. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Sanjeev Mahajan sir, for giving me chance to interact and to showcase my best understanding and knowledge towards my fellow colleagues and faculty members from all over country. Thank you again. And if you have any question, would like to, I will try my best to express and to showcase my experience and understanding with the OER and MOOC. Thank you again. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Before I take 2-3 questions, it was an excellent presentation and a good learning from your side. And I hope that all the participants must have been benefited a lot. And after listening to your presentation, I have been motivated that I should also try and do something with books. Try to frame some course so that the learners could be benefited.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. I would like to welcome you from the course coordinator of the MOOC program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. There are some questions, sir. One question is that can we do 2-3 courses from SWAYAM platform at one time?
Yeah, definitely. Anyone can join 2 or 3 courses in the same time.
Okay. So that was one of the questions that no problem. We can join 2 courses simultaneously from SWAYAM. There's no issue.
No issues.
Okay. And sir, Tulashi Sharma is asking, how is there a possibility that these courses, how this course is beneficial for faculty members?
Yeah, I have conveyed that, and I have received so many information related from the faculty members that UGC guidelines for CAS 2018 has already been mentioned and mentioned some important point with the faculty members that after completion of some MOOC courses, they can be benefited for the CAS, can be benefited and can be accessed, can be equally treated as a MVP or some refresher courses kind of a things.
Okay, sir. Okay. And sir,
and before that, I would like to request, before that, you must go through the guidelines of the University Grants Commission laid by for the CAS in 2018, and you must go through the points related with the CAS and MOOC, and after that you will be able to understand the basic idea about the MOOC courses and the completion of the MOOC courses as equal to the refresher course and the orientation courses.
And my addition is, sir, that even if that is not treated as, for career advancement purpose, but still a learning is there and you don't have to spend anything. It is a free course and you will learn something new, which probably we have not learned till now. So probably the biggest advantage of doing a SWAYAM course is not only in terms of career advancement or not only in terms of promotional purposes, but it is a definite good learning sitting at our homes, not going anywhere and using the platform to learn something new. This is the best advantage and beneficial of a MOOC course, sir.
सर मैं इन एडिशन आपके मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि मैंने पहला MOOC का कोर्स किया था 2013 में वर्ल्ड बैंक इंस्टीट्यूट का।
बताइए सर। हाँ जी, हाँ।
मैंने 2013 में वर्ल्ड बैंक इंस्टीट्यूट का मैंने MOOC कोर्स किया और उसके बाद बहुत सारे इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म्स में मैंने किया। मैंने बहुत सीखने की कोशिश की। आज भी मैं सीख रहा हूं आप सभी से कोई न कोई नई चीजें इंक्लूजन के लिए, कई अच्छी चीजें एकोमोडेट करने के लिए। सो दैट आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट टू एवरीवन, प्लीज ज्वाइन एनी MOOC कोर्स to understand about innovative pedagogy, to understand about blended classroom, to understand about flipped classroom kind of a course.
बिल्कुल सर। और शायद 2013 में प्रोबेबली लोग ठीक से जानते भी नहीं होंगे कि MOOCs का फुल फॉर्म क्या है।
सर मैं आपको बताता हूँ, जब आपने ये बात कही तो मेरा दर्द आपके सामने मैं चाहूंगा कि आ जाए फैकल्टीज के बीच में, क्योंकि सारे हमारे फैकल्टी पार्टिसिपेंट्स फेलो कोलीग्स हैं। तो मुझे आप सबके सामने ये बात कहने में गुरेज नहीं है कि जब 2014 में यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन ने इनिशिएटिव लिया EPG पार्ट का under the consideration of the guidelines and recommendations from the UNESCO, तो उन्होंने सब 2014-15 में फैकल्टीज को इनवाइट कर रहे थे EPG पाठशाला के लिए, वेरियस सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए। तो जब हम लोगों ने शूटिंग शुरू किया 2015 में, 16 में शूटिंग करते थे, कंटेंट बनाते थे, तो लोगों को बेसिक रिजल्ट का आइडिया तक नहीं था। 70% तक सिमिलरिटी की रिपोर्ट हम लोगों ने देखते थे।
हाँ जी।
तो रिक्वेस्ट करते थे कि सर इसको और कम करिए, कम करिए। फिर लेस देन 30% तक हम लोग रिक्वेस्ट करके ले जाते थे। जब हम लोग वीडियो शूटिंग करते थे तो बहुत सारे प्रोफेसर्स थे, वो कहते थे कि ये तो भारत सरकार पैसा मिसयूज कर रही है, इसका कोई बेनिफिट नहीं है, ये आप लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है, ये बिल्कुल बेकार है और आप लोगों का इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है। ये लाखों करोड़ों के प्रोजेक्ट आप लोगों को मिले हैं, लेकिन इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है, इसका कोई यूज नहीं है, फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स नहीं है। फिर जब 2017 में 18 में मुझे मूक का प्रोजेक्ट मिला, 2018 में मुझे यूजीसी ने, नेशनल कमेटी ने सेलेक्ट किया, तो जब मैं मूक का कोर्स अपने स्टार्ट किया तो किसी को भी ये नहीं था, ये कहते थे ये मूक का कोर्स क्या है, ये मूक का कोई मतलब नहीं है, ये मूक बेकार है, क्यों टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो अपना, इसका क्या फ्यूचर प्रोजेक्ट है, कोई नहीं। और आज जब यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन ने 2016 की गाइडलाइन में मूक को डाला, 2018 में मूक का प्रिपरेशन टीएलएम का प्रमोशन में डाला एसोसिएट के लिए और प्रोफेसर के लिए, जब उन्होंने कहा कि रिफ्रेशर कोर्स के इक्विवेलेंट ट्रीट किया जा सकता है मूक का कंप्लीट कोर्स, तब लोगों को समझ में आया। तो आज सारे मेरे कोलीग, मेरा पीयर जो मेरा पूरे मास कम्युनिकेशन और मीडिया का है, सब लोग कहते हैं कि यार आपने तो भाई साहब बहुत पहले शुरू कर दिया, कमाल कर दिया आपने। हमने कहा भैया मैंने कोई कमाल नहीं किया, मैंने टाइमली शुरू किया, मैं इनिशिएटिव के साथ मैं लगे रहा, प्रयास किया और आज यहाँ तक पहुंचा हूँ।
बिल्कुल सर, एक ये क्वेश्चन आया है, न्यू क्वेश्चन, कि एग्जाम डेट्स लगभग सेम होती हैं, तो क्या जब हम 2 कोर्स कर रहे होंगे उनकी एग्जाम डेट्स एक ही दिन, मतलब एक टाइम पर होंगी?
नहीं नहीं, अक्सर क्या होती है कि 15 ऑफ अक्टूबर को होता है, 2-3 एग्जामिनेशन की डेट्स होती हैं, एनटीए 2-3 एग्जामिनेशन की डेट्स देता है हर बार।
ओके ओके।
और यदि पार्टिसिपेंट एनटीओ को कहेगा, नेशनल टेस्टिंग एजेंसी को यदि पार्टिसिपेंट्स रिक्वेस्ट करेगा कि आई हैव ज्वाइंड 2 MOOC कोर्सेज and how can we give our examination in the same time or the same date, so definitely they will change.
ओके ओके ओके। और सर एक क्वेश्चन है कि इज देयर अ प्लानिंग कि रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस में भी मूक्स आ सकता है कभी आने वाले समय में?
हाँ, बहुत बड़ी बात आपने सर कही है और मैं छूट मुझसे, मैं आप सभी को बताना चाहूंगा कि ऑलरेडी आई हैव रिसीव्ड एन ईमेल फ्रॉम द यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन एंड एमएचआरडी दैट आवर कोर्स has been selected for the translation of 8 Indian languages. Already we have received an email from the University Grants Commission. It means near future there are so many MOOC courses will be translated to the 8 Indian languages in our country. So 8 भाषाओं में आने वाले समय में मूक का अनुवाद किया जाएगा आने वाले समय में, और ये प्रोसेस शुरू हो चुका है फ्रॉम 15 May onwards.
Thank you, sir. I want to congratulate that your course will be, translated into 8 different languages, which will be beneficial for people who are, working with regional languages actually. And they will also be benefited because sometimes it's a problem that they are not very comfortable with English, and because of that only reason they are not able to do that course.
100%, sir. I do agree with you.
And I think this will give a more motivation to other teachers also to start up MOOCs, because MOOCs is coming up with different Indian and regional languages also.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
With these words, I am really thankful to Dr. Durgesh Tripathi, sir, from the deep core of my heart, that he spared his valuable time. I know he was so busy. We had fixed a date first, and then we have to rechange the date. Reason was that he got some assignment from the Ministry of HRD, and because of some launching of some course was there. And therefore, I know he's such a busy personality, and he spared his valuable time for us. I'm really thankful to you, sir.
थैंक यू सर, और मेरा प्रणाम करिएगा सर को,
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और आप मेरे मेरी तरफ नमस्ते। धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद। Thank you, thank you all. I am thankful to all the participants who spared their time for on day 5th, and tomorrow again we meet at you know 3 o'clock. And I request all of you to join 10 minutes before 3 for tomorrow's session. Thank you very much. Thank you all.